Hey, hey, welcome. It's Rick. Rick from Seattle. How's it going? It's Saturday evening. It's too early to go to bed, so I've already done a painting earlier, but I'm going to do another one live. I like doing them live because then it just kind of uploads on its own. And then you get to see, you know, I make a lot of mistakes and then I correct them. So, what I'm doing, this channel's about just sharing my techniques on acrylic paint. In a couple weeks, I'm going to start doing some of the faces I did. I called them faces of Krejci. I used to do abstract faces. They're kind of crazy. But for now, I'm doing landscapes, okay? Trying to get some of you guys that, if you're thinking about doing art, this is a good channel to start with. Landscapes are a good way to see if you have the ability to paint, okay? And they'll look good. You can have the cheapest paint out there and uh, do a acrylic painting on here. It'll look good. A landscape, okay? Because artists were like I think it's a dying breed because of AI. You know, AI is taking over. There's no need for an artist anymore. Uh, it's all going digital. When I say an artist, I mean there's other artists that do artwork on the computer, but I mean with your hands, painting with your hands. It's a dying breed already, and there's less than 1% of the world uh, is an artist. So there's room. There's a lot of room for more artists. So, and I'm gonna do a simple painting here for like a beginner or someone that's never painted before, just to show you what you can do. Now this is just acrylic brush. This is blue. It's ultramarine blue, so I'm gonna start by putting a blue sky up here. Real simple. We'll show you some cool stuff along the way. I try and give you some tips that I've learned over the years because I didn't take any classes. I learned on my own, and that's the best way for me. But and just watching and looking at nature. Uh, but you know that saying, any instruction given or received by way of argument proceeds from pre-existent knowledge. So you can get knowledge from other people, and it's pretty much, there's not too many innovators out there in the world, so all knowledge proceeds from pre-existing knowledge, so, or any kind of creativity. But let's just paint. So what I'm trying to do is lighten up the lower horizon here. It's just, this is ultramarine blue, and I just added some white to it, because if you use ultramarine blue right out of the tube, it's pretty dark. See? But you can add it in later to make some darker spots like that, like usually in the corners. You know, if you go to art school, they'll probably tell you to put a vignette up here, darken your corners like this, but we're gonna just paint our way, okay? And I'm using acrylic paint, just cheap paint that you can buy anywhere. And this has got water in it. Acrylic paint, you don't need any like special tools to clean your brushes. Just water, soap and water. When you do oil paint, I sell a lot of paintings, okay? And if this was oil paint, I wouldn't be able to sell this particular piece for 2 or 3 weeks because its oil stays wet for a long time and you can't sell it. This I could probably sell tomorrow if I didn't want to put a varnish on it. I could sell this tomorrow if it comes out good, you know. All right, that's good enough there. I'm going to put a few mountains up here now. Let me put a little color down here. I just dipped into my Payne's Gray, but I want to bring it down a little more. So I got some paint down here. I'm going to put my mountains in here, but I want to have some kind of underpaint down in here. So this is just white. With a little gray in it, because I had gray on my brush. Because I want the mountain to be here, and I didn't want it to come down on a dry canvas. So, all right, let's. I'm going to grab some Payne's Gray. Now this I'll use right out of the tube. It's already a Payne's Gray. I think it was designed by some artist called Payne's. Good to know. Let's put a mountain in here. You know what a mountain looks like, right? Actually, I want this to be an easy painting for you, so I'm going to make the mountain kind of big, okay? And just put some peaks up here. If you end up doing this painting, just run like 4 peaks across, about 3/4 of the way up, and we'll draw this color down. Just draw it down like you're skiing down a mountain here, like this. Just draw the color down. Just like that. And let's bring this side down like this, a little lower. We'll kind of have it getting smaller over here and come down like this. So we'll design these mountains so a little bit, even though it's going to be an easy painting, but we'll put this one out front so it looks like they're going off into the distance here. See that? You can probably already see that. Now this is easy. I just put up 4 little peaks there, okay? With Payne's Gray. So down here, let's put some water. The color that you have in the sky there, blue. What you'll do when you mix your blue, you just take a little bit of the dark blue that comes in the tube and then just mix some white in it like this. Just to lighten it up. And then now let's add a little gray. This is Payne's Gray for the water. So it's not as bright as the sky. We want it to look like water. Water's a little more on the gray side. And let's just put some water down here below the mountain. Now wet your brush a little. When you wet your brush, it helps the paint flow better on the canvas. I'm doing a simple painting here. I mean, if you're already a painter, I mean, you might get some tips out of here. You might get something out of it, but this is just going to be a simple painting. I oversized it so it's a little easier to paint, okay? We'll take it down to about, we'll take it all the way down. How's that sound? Got to mix some more blue and white. And when you put this water in, just try and go horizontal across like this. I'll probably, when I'm done with this video, I'll probably change the title to like a beginner's painting. When I started the live, I didn't know what I was gonna do. I just like to paint on the fly. That idea came up as I was painting, so. All right, so here we go. So we got the sky, we got mountains and some water. Now we need some land down here. This could turn into a river, you know, depending on how you design the land here, or how I design it. Let's start by putting some, we'll put some, we're going to mix some colors now. So this is sap green, and I mixed some black in it already. I always usually mix my colors before I start, so the video doesn't take too long. This is sap green. Now the sap greens are, depending on what company you get, the brand, they're all a little different. So I want to put some light green back here. So I'm going to take some white here and mix a little bit of that sap green with the white. Really light green. Okay, and for now let's just go across, straight across for now at the bottom of the mountain. We'll pull it down a little here like this, almost like a small arch. All right, there's a little green there. Before we go on, we're going to do the snow on the mountains right now. And since this is a beginner painting, I'm going to use a brush to put the snow up there. So this is going to be really simple. I'm using a filbert brush. You see how it's round on the top? Because with this you can either turn it sideways or flat. So when we're going to put snow up here now, I'm going to put it on the right side of the mountain, so the light's going to be, our light will be coming from the right. So don't wet your brush too much. We just want to use titanium white on your brush. Now let's do this big one in the middle first. Come up to the right side up here and follow with your brush very gently. Follow the edge of the mountain down with your white. Don't press too hard. Just let the brush kind of glide across. Just do it a couple times. Let's come over here. Do the same thing on this peak. Just let the brush kind of glide down on its own. And over here, just follow the edge of the mountain. Put some snow up there. Now finally, let's do this one. You're going to have to imagine that it's in front of that one. Okay, so just bring your brush down and then kind of straighten it out at the bottom here. Okay, we're going to put a little more snow on here. So come underneath that one and let's add some more snow. By just getting a little lower each time. Just like that. And over here, make this one come down a little more, and over here. Now take your brush and we'll kind of blend some of it in. And then pull this one down here like this. Just run some snow across the bottom there. Just like that. Okay, real simple. Now mix a little, get a little bit of this blue over here. And put some white in it. We'll get like a light blue color, almost like the sky. Fill your brush up. Now come up here on the just left of your white now, and let's pull from the white to the left with this bluish color. Come up next to your white and then just pull to the left. Real simple. This is the shadow side of the mountain. Just pull it to the left. I'm trying to do it the simplest way I know how without using a knife. Usually I use a knife. But I know with the knife can be kind of scary if you've never used it before. But once you get used to the knife, you'll probably want to do all your mountains with a knife. Now, even though this is flat down here, the white, you still got to put a little bit of blue underneath the white to create a shadow. Okay, it'll create like a ledge there. Hopefully everything's starting to look good. I'm so close to the painting I can't even see how it's turning out yet. But everywhere you have white, just pull a little bit of blue down. There we go. So we got 4 mountains covered with snow now. That looks pretty good for a brush, for brush work. Wow. Now, rinse your brush off. Rinse your brush off. It's always good to have a paper towel in your hand, and then you can wipe your brush off. Now, depending what kind of paint you got, a lot of this paint will soak in. You could come up here when you're done and hit some more places where you think you didn't cover good enough with white to make it brighter. Don't overdo it though, just in a few places if you want to add a little more brightness to it. Okay? Because it's good to have different values in there. You just don't want it solid white. Okay? Like in here it looks a little darker. That's okay. You don't have to make it all white. Same thing with your blue if you want to leave some of the gray in there. But this mountain's going to look good because we're going to end up running some trees over it. It's going to be pretty good. Now usually, let's do the clouds next. Clouds are, there's so many ways to do a clouds, but I think I'm going to show you an easy way to do clouds with just white, okay? I'm not even gonna like put, I might put shadows in it. We'll see what happens. Let's run a design here with clouds. I'm gonna have a cloud start here on the left behind this mountain and come up at an angle like this. With using this filbert brush. This is it's a number 10 filbert brush. Just fill your brush up with titanium white, and what we're going to do on this big peak, just touch the canvas with your brush, come up to the mountain, come up to it, and then come out on the other side. Just touch. And what we're doing is just touching the top part of the cloud. Now turn your brush and design the top part of a cloud going up at an angle like this. Just the top part of the cloud. You know how the clouds are kind of round on top sometimes, right? We're going to do some round clouds. Just like that. Now grab some more paint on your brush, and what we're going to do is make them a little longer. Just fill in below. We're going to make this one over here a little bigger on the right. Just keep pressing in down. Just like that. Now wipe your brush off with a paper towel, and at the bottom, pull that color to the right. Just at the bottom. See, I'm just hitting the bottom part of it. Pull it to the right, and then blend it into the blue a little. You can pull it down a little more. Just blend it into the sky. Just like that. There's one cloud. All right. Very good. Now, I know you can do that. I know you can do that. The next cloud we do is going to be right over here, going up the same way. Okay. Wow. That looks pretty impressive. Now, when you're looking at this, you can almost see. You're going to probably want this small one in the front, right? You can almost see that there's multiple clouds here, right? They're layered. So I'm going to probably show you how to separate these so it looks like there's it's got dimension, okay? But we'll do that near the end of the painting. Let's get some more white and run another cloud up the same way above it. Just fill your brush up with white. Let's start a little bit left of this one, a little higher up, and just tap the brush and then turn it to the front side. And let's just design the top again, just the top part of the cloud. Just like that. Now let's get some more paint. We'll make this bigger over here, just a little bigger. You can either stamp it, this is called stamping, or you can actually brush it in like this. I'm just going so fast it looks like I'm stamping it. You could just brush it in, okay, like this. Just brush it in. Now, take your brush and we'll pull the bottom to the right just a little, and then try and blend the bottom into the blue just a little with your brush. I know acrylic paint dries fast, so you got to kind of work quickly. But there you go. That's all you got to do to make that type of cloud. There's a lot of different ways. Probably the next video I'll do a different way so you can learn a lot of different techniques. Okay. So let's put a small one right here. I mean, small. A really small cloud, okay? Don't make it big, because I'm trying to get this to look like that one. It has depth, okay? Perfect, perfect. That looks good. All right. You can tell this is going to end up looking good, because we're going to have some big trees coming up into the sky here, and maybe one over here over all this stuff. It's going to look amazing. Let me see where we're at. 28 minutes. All right, we're going to do some distant, now that the mountains are pretty much done. I want to show you something that's kind of cool. Take your filbert brush. This is a pretty big one. This is I think this is the 10. But take a brush. This is a really soft brush, okay? And rinse it off pretty good. And we're going to put a little white on it, almost like water paint. And then at the bottom of your mountain, just take that white and brush it in at the bottom of the mountain here. Just brush it in. It's going to help make this mountain look further back. All right, we're going to put some trees across the back now. I was going to use a fan brush for that. So when you do landscapes, it's good to have a fan brush. This is good for bushes. It's good for making trees. It's good for a lot of things. They call it a fan blender brush. But I'm going to make a row of trees across the back of the, on top of the green there. So since this is so close to us, I'm going to make the trees dark. So I'm going to take my sap green and black. I wet my brush a little bit in the water, so it's kind of wet. Just fill up your fan brush like this, and I'll use the corner. Let's start in the middle here. Use the corner, and we're going to make these trees kind of small. And let's just, at first, take your color across the top of the green. All the way. Both ways. Just tap. Tap into it. Just tap it in. Now here's the hard part. Now you got to wipe your fan brush off. Now right here in the middle, take the bottom of the paint and pull it to the right. Just at the bottom. Now do it to the left. It's going to get rid of that hard edge down there. And maybe create some shadow. See that? Alright, so now we're going to reload the brush now, okay? With the same color. Now we're going to make some different heights here. We'll keep the middle kind of low here. And now let's bring it up just a little over here on the right. Keep it low here. And let's come up, start coming up on your side like this. Maybe to there, because we're going to have a big tree over here. Now load up your brush again. Let's do the same thing this way. Let's come up a little higher. Not too much, just a little gradual rise on it, and fill it into your bottom. This one we'll go all the way, just so you can see how it looks. We'll just take it all the way. So it's pretty much straight on the bottom, and then we got a gradual incline going up. Now, you don't have to wipe your brush off, but you can either wipe your brush off or rinse it. Now, we're going to come in here with the corner, and you're going to just the corner of the brush and pull up just a little. Make sure you do it very close together, so it looks like use the corner, just barely pull it up, but pull up a lot of it is what I'm trying to say, so it doesn't look like a few lines are going up. We want it to all look like it's being pulled up. Press in with your corner and pull up the corner of the brush. Press in, pull up. Just like that. You got to do it before it dries. if it dries on you, if it dries on you, just take some more wet paint and add it to the top and pull it up before it dries. All right, so there we got some distant trees back there in the water. Doesn't that look cool? And then we got some land. See how the land's coming down in front of it now? The green. Where are we at? 35 minutes. I don't want this to be a hard painting, so what we're going to do right now is create some land right here and run a few trees so you don't shut off the video. Now we can either create the land with the light green again. We'll use a darker green. Maybe let's just use the sap green that's right out of the tube. And maybe we'll add a little white to it. Just a little white to help the viscosity of the paint. Let's put a piece of land here. Just come straight out about midway in your water, maybe to about here. And let's create a piece of land here. You could just brush it in like this. I don't know why I'm tapping because I did all those trees up there. All right, so there's our piece of land. Because I'm going to run some trees up into the sky from there. Rinse your brush off. This is the fan brush. Now this is, I hope you can see the numbers. This is an oil brush. It's a level 1 beginner's brush, number 4, okay? But even though it's a level 1 brush, it works good for acrylic paint. Oil brush, level 1. It's a number 4. That's the size of it, okay? Let's fill it up with the dark green. After you do some paintings, and you do evergreen trees, you're going to understand why I make it dark. Because you want the tree to stand out. Let's put this first tree up in between these two mountains, okay? Just barely right into the sky there. Just put a trunk down to the land there. This is the fun part. So you're going to fill your brush up again and just use the corner. And you're going to design some branches going down. And everybody knows what an evergreen tree looks like. Use the corner. There's a lot of different ways, but this way I'm going to do it is I'm going to tap really small at the top. I'm just pressing in. Can you hear that? I'm just pressing it in right down the middle of the trunk with the corner. Just press in and then get wider as you come down. I'm still using the corner, just pressing it in, okay? Just like that. Now, put some more paint on your brush, and we can extend these branches out if we want at the bottom. It's up to you, or you can just leave it the way it came out. Let's do another one right next to it. Fill your brush up with paint. Sometimes it's good to wiggle the brush like this in the paint to get the get it flat again. Let's put one right here, but a little shorter, right next to it, okay? Just bring a trunk down. I'm going to wet the brush just a little with some water, reload it. Same way with the corner. Just stay right in the middle. The first one's really light touches. And just press down the middle of the trunk and get wider at the bottom. Just like that, we got two trees. It's pretty amazing. Now load up your brush again, and let's put some bushes out to the edge of the water here. Just stamp in some bushes there and pull the bottom of the bushes to the right. You can pull up on your bushes too. Just pull up with the corner of the brush. Okay, just like that. All right, now we're going to put some more land down here. Let's just use the dark color. We're going to put some land in right here in the foreground. Just fill it in with, you could use any brush here. Just fill it in with color. We're going to run some big trees off of here now. If you're a first-time painter, believe it or not, doing the painting big like this, it's a lot easier. It's easier to learn by making bigger trees and filling up the whole canvas. It really is a lot easier. Let's put a big tree. We're going to put it in between the mountains, okay? Like we did here. We put it in between. Let's put this one way up into the cloud there. Right in between the two peaks. You could pull your trunk down, okay? Let's load up the brush like this. They make different size fan brushes, but this is a perfect size for this. Now this one I'm going to do a little different because it's going to be wider. I'm going to actually press it with the corner, but come down faster. Okay, I'm going to and have less branches up there, but now down here I'm going to design some big branches, and then I'll adjust it when I'm done. Because it's a big tree. It's going to end up being a big tree. Now, I'm going to stand back, load up my brush, and I want to make these at the bottom pretty long. Just making them a little longer. Filling in more paint. Right here in the middle, let's add a little bit of color in the middle of the tree so it gets nice and fat down here. Just right here in the middle. Just like that. Now we need to extend some of these up here to make it look kosher. There you go. That's good. Just work it, stand back and look at it and make it look kind of uniformed, you know, like a tree. These are going to be a little longer on the bottom. Wow, that's pretty amazing. All right, let's do some bushes down here the same way I did those. What you're going to do is just press in some color here and take the corner and pull up just like that. Make it look like grass. Usually I do bushes, but today I'm going to do grass because it's easier. Take a little bit of this light green on your brush and pull up in the bottom of your grass. Just pull up really quickly. Get some color in the grass there. Just like that. Move the camera back now. All right. Let's put a little color in these out here. Just pull up some light color underneath your trees. Just one time pull up like that, okay? With some color on your brush. It'll look good when it dries. All right, that's it for the trees. Now we're gonna finish the painting now, okay? Uh, we got to put some white around all the bottom of the land, but we also got to put some dirt down there. So there's this color. It's called burnt umber. It's brown. Take a little bit of this burnt umber, and we'll put a little white in it. Just a little white. Burnt umber and white. You can mix it with a brush. This is a small filbert brush. Thought there was a number on it. There it is. It's number 6. So at the bottom of the grass, let's run a little bit of brown. Just run your brush like that at the bottom. Get some of that paint off your brush like this, and what we'll do is put a little brown underneath some of those bushes out in the grass area. Some brown color in the grass. It'll soak in. It'll look good. All right. Now we're gonna run some white on the edge there. I guess I should show you how to do a reflection here, huh? These trees would be reflecting in the water here. So we're gonna have to do that. It's not that hard. So get your fan brush back and rinse it off and get a little bit of that dark color on it. You don't need much. Now we're going to reflect these bushes and these. Let's do the trees first. So take your brush and line up this tree here in the water and come down here and just punch in the trunk part, okay? Same thing with this little one. Line it up and put in the top of the tree. Now what you're going to do is make a triangle, a long triangle like this, 2 of them. that look like a tree. Okay, and what you're going to do is put the bushes in right here like this across, and then fill this all in with that green color. Doesn't have to be dark, just fill it all in now with green, just like that. Now rinse your brush off real quick before that dries. Rinse it off and grab a paper towel in your hand. And what you're going to do is take your brush now and just pull down what's in the water. Don't go out here, just where the color's at. Pull it down. Just the color. Now wipe your brush off and go across it, straight across. Just like that. Okay, good. Now we got to put a water line there. I guess we should use a flat brush here. We'll use a filbert brush. I would usually use my knife here, but since I'm going to say this is for a beginner, see, I would cut the water in right here with a knife. But we can use a brush. Just get a smaller filbert brush. I'm waiting for this to dry just a little bit. You could also use a liner brush. You just got to run some white underneath that brown, just across. But we'll use a small filbert brush. I even got a smaller one here. It's like I think it's a number 4. You just need a small brush here. Let's wet it and get a little white on it, titanium white. This is going to be detail work now. So first off, take your white and go across the bottom of the brown. Just take your brush all the way across the bottom of the brown. Now fill your brush up again and pull some of that white out now into the water. It's got to be horizontal though. Just pull it out like that. There you go. That's all you got to do. It's like a water hitting up against the side of the shore there. You could put a few water lines going across the reflection like this. Okay. Let's put a water line across the bottom of this green back here. All the way across. Just like that. Let's put a few water lines out here, really small. You can get bigger as you move forward. Try and keep them horizontal. I like to use my knife out there. It makes them nice and straight with the knife. you can just edge it in and make it really straight. But you can use your brush too. But now I'm going to use a knife, and I'll show you the difference when you use a knife. There we go. It just makes it sparkle more because what the paint's doing now, it's just laying on the paint, because when you brush it on, it's going to soak in. But when you use a knife, it lays the paint. They call it sparkle. See, it sparkles more. When you brush it, it looks like this. But now, if you want to take a knife now, and you could run a little bit of this snow like this with a knife to make it look a little brighter. See what I mean? And there you go. We're all done. So this is a liner brush. This is what you would use to sign your name. Let me, you can also take a brush, a larger brush, and you can go across this down here with a wet brush, horizontal. Very lightly. Make it look more like a reflection there. Very lightly. All right, good. Let's get that liner brush, and I'm going to make a few twigs with black. You got to put a few twigs in your painting when you're done. You can use either black or white. Sometimes white looks better on this dark color. But I don't, if you've ever been out in the woods, you know that there's twigs everywhere, so it won't hurt to put some twigs in your scene. But I'll do that when I shut it off. I'm going to put a few birds up there, though, for you. Got to put the birds in there. It finishes off the sky. I like to have some birds up here. And if you didn't get a good point on your tree, just use a liner brush and put your points on the tree. That's about all I can show you for now, for a beginner. I'm going to change the title of this live to a beginner's layout is what I'll probably put, and try and draw more people to do artwork, because we are a dying breed. AI is going to take over. It's already taken over AI can design this in less than 2 minutes. In less than 2 minutes. Those, I have this AI, it's called, I forget what it's called, but you can ask it to do a landscape and tell it what you want, and it's called Imagine. It'll make a landscape for you with mountains and snow and trees in less than 2 seconds. Put some twigs in there. Sometimes white, like I said, looks better on this darker color. That's probably what I'll do. Put some white twigs down here. Just got to wet the paint really good and use a liner brush. But there you go, guys. That's a nice, easy one. I made it oversized the mountains to make it easier. And I used a brush. I used a brush for everything. No knife. So very simple painting. Hopefully that inspires somebody to, and the reflection, that's an easy way to do it. It's not difficult. And we don't need any shadows because the shadows would be all over here on the left. And didn't have to, well, all this is shadow on the side of the mountain. So there you go. You got some shadows. All right, thanks for watching. Let's see if anybody I know is on. Nope. Thanks for watching, guys. If you got some friends out there that want to start to paint, have them check out the channel. All right, cheers.